Never-before-seen letters from Princess Diana have revealed she...
Back in January 1996, a month before divorcing her husband then, Prince Charles.
And they had that structure, they had people around them who could understand and let them, give them the time.
Late Princess Diana's lost letter to Princess Anne has emerged as a deeply stirring revelation that touches on intricate relationships within the royal family and offers a rare glimpse into a side of Diana seldom seen by the public. The discovery of the letter, hidden away for years and now brought to light, has generated a sense of intrigue and wonder as its contents hint at emotions, reflections, and subtle nuances that only someone in Diana's unique position could have expressed. The document itself, penned by a woman whose life was marked by both grace and heartache, seems to capture a moment of personal vulnerability and candor that stands in stark contrast to the public image she carefully cultivated. In its elegantly penned lines, the letter weaves together themes of familial connection, personal insight, and the often overlooked complexities of relationships within the royal household. Before we start, smash the like and subscribe buttons for more updates. The moment of unveiling carries with it an air of solemnity that resonates with anyone who has long admired Diana's ability to mix empathy with strength. Although the letter was intended for a sibling in arms within the royal circle, rather than for a general audience, its existence now opens up a portal into the private thoughts of a figure who was often defined by her public persona. As the words of the letter unfold, they speak to the careful balance that Diana always tried to strike between duty and desire, between the expectations imposed by a storied lineage and her own quest for individuality and genuine emotional expression. The careful hand with which she articulated her thoughts reveals a woman who was at once aware of her own inner turmoil and profoundly committed to bridging the gaps between personal and public life. In the intricately composed paragraphs of the letter, the themes of loyalty and understanding emerge as central to Diana's message. The letter is not simply a recounting of events or emotions. Rather, it is an exploration of the delicate interplay between personal experience and the rigid protocols that have long governed royal life. The careful selection of words and the measured tone suggest that Diana was acutely aware of the potential impact her words could have. By choosing to confide in Princess Anne through the written medium, she created a record of thought that transcends the ephemeral nature of spoken conversation. The letter stands as a testament to the enduring human need to reach out to those who share not just a familial bond, but also the burden of public expectation. The implications of this revelation extend far beyond the mere unveiling of a long-hidden document. The very act of rediscovery calls into question long-held assumptions about the inner dynamics of the royal family. It invites observers to reflect on the challenges faced by those who live under the relentless gaze of public scrutiny, where every gesture and word is dissected for meaning. The letter's contents seem to serve as a reminder that behind the pomp and ceremony, there exists a realm of genuine human emotion, fraught with the same contradictions, conflicts, and tender moments that define everyday life. This newly revealed artifact not only enriches the historical record, but also humanizes a figure who has become almost mythic in her portrayal. The language employed by Diana in her private missive is both unadorned and resonant, capturing an authenticity that is both disarming and powerful. Her choice to address her thoughts to Princess Anne speaks to the deep-seated need for solidarity and understanding within a family that has long been defined by tradition and a shared sense of duty. In crafting her message, Diana appears to have been striving to forge a connection that went beyond the superficial layers of royalty. The letter subtly hints at the challenges of reconciling personal aspirations with the rigid expectations imposed by a lineage that has been scrutinized by both history and the media. This delicate balancing act is emblematic of the broader struggles faced by many who live in environments where the private and public spheres are in constant tension. A careful reading of the document suggests that Diana was aware of the inherent paradoxes of her position. On one hand, she embraced the opportunities afforded to her by her status, using her influence to draw attention to humanitarian causes and champion the underprivileged. On the other hand, the personal sacrifices required by such a high-profile life left an indelible mark on her sense of self. The letter's tone, imbued with a quiet melancholy, speaks to the personal costs of living under a microscope that never ceased to capture both the grandeur and the vulnerabilities of those it scrutinized. It is a poignant reminder that even those who seem to possess an enviable life of privilege are not immune to the burdens of isolation, expectation, and the unrelenting pressure to conform to an ideal. The discovery of this letter also raises profound questions about the nature of historical memory and the ways in which private documents can reshape public narratives. The careful curation of royal history often leaves little room for the messy, unvarnished truth of personal emotion. In contrast, the lost letter offers a rare opportunity to glimpse the human heart behind a carefully constructed public image. Its emergence encourages a re-examination of how history is recorded and remembered, suggesting that the most transformative truths about individuals may lie in the quiet, intimate moments that rarely see the light of day. Through this lens, the letter can be seen as an important cultural artifact that challenges conventional portrayals and enriches the narrative of a life lived in the limelight. The intricacies of the language used in the letter also highlight the power of written communication to convey feelings that might otherwise be lost in the noise of everyday interactions. In an era when every public gesture is analyzed and every word weighed for political or social significance, the private act of writing becomes an intimate dialogue between the self and the chosen confidant. In her words, Diana demonstrates a mastery of this art, inviting her correspondent into a world that was both breathtakingly beautiful and deeply fraught with complexity. The measured cadence of her prose suggests that she was attempting to communicate not only her thoughts, but also her innermost sentiments, bridging the gap between the external demands of royal life and the internal landscape of personal reflection. The context in which the letter was written adds an additional layer of meaning to its contents. During a time when the roles and expectations of those born into royalty were undergoing significant transformation, Diana's words resonate as both a personal testament and a subtle critique of the constraints that shaped her life. Her reflections on duty, identity, and the inevitability of compromise offer a window into the psychological and emotional terrain navigated by someone whose every action was both a public performance and a private struggle. The letter encapsulates a moment in time when the interplay between public duty and personal freedom was especially poignant, capturing the essence of an era defined by rapid change and evolving social norms. The implications of the letter's contents extend into realms of historical interpretation and cultural significance. By offering a direct line to the thoughts of a woman who has been both celebrated and scrutinized, the document challenges the conventional narratives that have long dominated discussions about the royal family. It invites historians, cultural commentators, and the general public alike to reconsider the complexities of a life lived in the public eye, acknowledging that the human experience, with all its contradictions and imperfections, cannot be neatly compartmentalized into categories of triumph and tragedy. Instead, the letter serves as a reminder that every public figure, no matter how revered or vilified, harbors a private universe of hopes, regrets, and dreams. The language of the letter itself is crafted with a precision that underscores the seriousness with which Diana approached her private communications. The choice of words and the overall tone suggest an individual who was not only aware of the symbolic weight of her position, but also deeply committed to the idea of genuine connection. In addressing her confidant, Princess Anne, with an openness that transcends the formalities typically associated with royal correspondence, Diana imbued the text with a sense of intimacy that defies the expectations of protocol. The revelation of this personal message, therefore, carries with it a profound significance for those who have long admired her ability to combine vulnerability with strength. It is impossible to ignore the broader cultural and societal implications that the unveiling of the letter brings to the forefront. The document stands as a symbol of the enduring human desire to be understood and connected, even in the most structured and scrutinized of environments. For many, it serves as a potent reminder that the barriers between the public and private self are not as impermeable as they might seem. The very act of revealing such a deeply personal artifact is an invitation to look beyond the carefully constructed images and to engage with the underlying humanity that drives all individuals, regardless of their social standing or historical legacy. The emergence of the letter also prompts a reflection on the role of archives and the preservation of personal histories. In an age where digital communication dominates, The tactile quality of a handwritten letter carries with it a sense of permanence and authenticity that is increasingly rare. The document, with its delicate script and measured expressions, stands as a relic of a bygone era when words were carefully chosen and recorded with great care. Its rediscovery underscores the importance of preserving such artifacts, not only as records of historical events, but also as windows into the souls of those who have shaped our cultural landscape. The letter is a testament to the enduring power of the written word to capture the essence of a moment and to communicate truths that transcend time and circumstance. The layered narrative contained within the letter invites readers to reconsider long-standing perceptions about both Diana and the royal family. It suggests that beneath the layers of public duty and ceremonial grandeur lies a rich tapestry of personal experiences and unspoken emotions. The words written on the page offer a glimpse into the inner workings of a mind that was constantly at odds with the external demands of a world defined by rigid expectations. They speak to the universal experience of longing for connection, of yearning to be understood, and of the quiet defiance that arises when one dares to challenge the status quo. In this sense, the letter becomes more than just a historical document. It transforms into a timeless reminder of the complexity and resilience of the human spirit. As observers pore over the contents of the letter, there is a growing recognition that its implications extend far beyond the immediate context of royal affairs. The emotions encapsulated within its lines resonate with anyone who has ever felt the weight of expectation or struggled to reconcile personal desires with external obligations. The text serves as a mirror, reflecting the shared human experience of navigating a world that often seems to demand conformity at the expense of individuality. In doing so, it invites a broader dialogue about the nature of authenticity and the challenges inherent in living a life that is both public and profoundly private. The tone of the letter, while imbued with an unmistakable sense of wistfulness, also carries an undercurrent of resolve. It is as though Diana, in laying bare her inner thoughts, was making a subtle stand against the forces that sought to define her solely by her public image. There is an inherent defiance in the act of revealing one's innermost reflections, particularly when doing so risks exposing vulnerabilities that might be exploited by those eager to dissect every nuance of royal life. In the carefully chosen words and the measured cadence of the prose, there is a clear message that, despite the constraints imposed by a life lived in the spotlight, there remains a core of authenticity that cannot be suppressed or fully contained by external expectations. The document also provides an opportunity to consider the nature of interpersonal relationships within the royal family from a fresh perspective. It paints a picture of a dynamic that is as much about shared experiences and mutual understanding as it is about tradition and duty. The act of writing to Princess Anne with all the candor and thoughtfulness that the letter exhibits underscores the importance of finding common ground amidst the pressures of public life. It speaks to the potential for empathy and connection, even within a framework that is often characterized by formality and distance. This insight, gleaned from the careful study of the letter's contents, adds a layer of nuance to our understanding of the personal bonds that underpin even the most storied institutions. The words that have been preserved in the letter evoke a sense of time that is both fleeting and eternal. They capture a moment when the barriers between the individual and the collective were momentarily lifted, allowing a rare glimpse into the intimate world of a woman who was constantly navigating the delicate balance between her public responsibilities and her personal yearnings. In this space, the distinctions between duty and desire blur, giving way to a more profound exploration of what it means to be human in a world that often seems determined to reduce individuals to mere symbols. The letter, therefore, is not just a piece of paper with carefully inscribed words. It is a living document that continues to speak to the timeless struggle of reconciling the personal with the prescribed. Every carefully crafted sentence in the letter hints at the internal battles fought by a woman who was aware of both her privileges and the profound responsibilities that accompanied them. The expression of her innermost thoughts, rendered with a clarity that belies the tumultuous forces at work in her life, reveals a soul that was not content to simply accept the roles assigned by tradition. Instead, she sought to engage with the world in a manner that was both reflective and transformative. The act of writing, in this case, emerges as a powerful form of self-assertion, one that defies the notion that one's true self can ever be fully captured by the trappings of public life. In its quiet defiance, the letter stands as an enduring reminder that even within the rigid confines of institutional expectation, there exists the possibility of authentic self-expression. The unfolding of this long-hidden communication has ignited a spark of curiosity that reaches far beyond the confines of royal circles. Scholars, cultural commentators, and members of the public alike are drawn to the profound insights contained within its lines. The document, with its rich emotional texture and reflective quality, challenges preconceived notions about what it means to live a life in the public eye. It prompts a rethinking of the boundaries between public duty and private emotion, urging all who encounter it to acknowledge the inherent contradictions that define the human condition. In doing so, the letter becomes a powerful emblem of the enduring struggle to assert one's individuality amidst forces that are often both overwhelming and unforgiving. There is a distinct beauty in the way the letter navigates the complexities of loyalty and personal identity. It is a reflection of the intricate dance that exists between a person's internal convictions and the external expectations placed upon them by society. The careful articulation of these themes within the letter suggests that despite the grandeur and formality of her surroundings, Diana was deeply engaged in a process of self-discovery and personal evolution. Her words offer a glimpse into the heart of a woman who was unafraid to acknowledge her own doubts and to question the very structures that defined her existence. This willingness to confront the uncomfortable truths of one's own life imbues the letter with a timeless relevance that continues to resonate with anyone who has ever felt confined by the expectations of others. The revelation of this private correspondence invites a contemplation of the interplay between legacy and memory. In the careful recording of her thoughts, Diana appears to have been conscious of the need to leave behind a record that spoke not just to the events of her life, but to the underlying emotions that drove her actions. The letter, as it has now been brought to public attention, becomes an essential piece of the puzzle that is her enduring legacy. It challenges the simplistic portrayals that often dominate popular discourse, offering instead a rich tapestry of insights that speak to the multifaceted nature of her experience. In doing so, it enriches our understanding of a life that was as much about internal struggle as it was about public service. At its core, the letter is a reminder of the profound impact that one individual can have when they dare to be vulnerable in a world that often rewards conformity. It is a document that transcends the boundaries of time and space, reaching out to anyone who has ever grappled with the tension between the self and society. The implications of its discovery are far-reaching, touching on themes of identity, legacy, and the unyielding quest for authenticity. Through its carefully measured language and unguarded expressions, the letter stands as a testament to the enduring human need to connect with others on a level that goes beyond surface appearances. It is an invitation to reflect on the ways in which we all navigate the delicate balance between our public personas and our private truths. The document's emergence also forces a reconsideration of the role that personal artifacts play in shaping our collective understanding of history. In a world where digital media and fleeting moments of public spectacle often dominate our attention, the tangible presence of a handwritten letter offers a stark contrast. A reminder that the most powerful expressions of the human spirit are often found in the quiet spaces between the headlines. The letter, preserved against the odds and now revealed for all to see, challenges us to look more closely at the stories that lie hidden beneath the surface of public life. It is a call to embrace the complexity of the narratives that have defined not only a remarkable life, but also an era marked by both extraordinary privilege and profound personal struggle. In the gentle cadence of its prose, there is an echo of the timeless quest for meaning that defines the human experience. The letter captures a moment when the boundaries of duty and desire were not so rigidly defined, when the simple act of reaching out to another person could transform the landscape of one's internal world. It speaks to the hope that, even in the most constrained of circumstances, there exists the possibility of finding solace and understanding through honest communication. The very act of writing becomes a transformative gesture, one that not only documents the passage of time, but also encapsulates the emotional journey of an individual who dared to live authentically in the face of overwhelming expectation. The careful composition of the lost letter, with its blend of reflective melancholy and quiet determination, stands as a lasting tribute to a woman who managed to capture the hearts of millions while grappling with the profound challenges of her own inner life. Its emergence invites those who encounter it to look beyond the surface of historical events and to appreciate the complex interplay of emotion, duty, and personal resilience that defined her time. In doing so, the letter enriches the tapestry of royal history, providing insights that are as enlightening as they are deeply human. The text, with all its subtle hints at personal sacrifice and the courage to challenge established norms, is an enduring symbol of the struggle for self-expression within an environment that often suppresses individuality. It reminds us that behind every carefully constructed public image lies a world of private thoughts, desires, and dreams. Worlds that, when revealed, can alter the way we understand not only the individual in question, but also the broader forces that shape our lives. The letter, therefore, is not merely a relic of a bygone era, but a living document that continues to speak to the universal experiences of vulnerability, resilience, and the relentless pursuit of authenticity. In the wake of its discovery, the lost letter offers a profound meditation on the power of words to transcend the limitations imposed by time and circumstance. It invites a renewed appreciation for the art of thoughtful expression, urging modern readers to consider how the simple act of writing can serve as both a personal catharsis and a lasting contribution to our collective cultural memory. Each carefully inscribed word resonates with the understanding that even the most powerful figures in history are, at their core, human beings driven by the same desires and dilemmas that define us all. The narrative woven throughout the letter, with its rich tapestry of emotion and insight, has the capacity to reframe long-held perceptions about the nature of royal duty and personal freedom. It is a reminder that beneath the elaborate layers of tradition and ceremony, there exists a deep well of personal stories and emotional truths that have shaped the lives of those who carry the weight of history on their shoulders. The discovery of this document, in its quiet dignity and subtle defiance, reinforces the idea that true strength lies in the ability to confront one's inner truths and to communicate them with honesty and integrity. The intricate interplay between personal longing and public obligation that permeates the letter continues to evoke a sense of empathy and introspection among those who read it. It is a testament to the timeless nature of the human spirit, a spirit that, regardless of circumstance, seeks connection, understanding, and the freedom to express its innermost feelings. In its pages, one finds the echoes of countless untold stories, each a reminder of the complexity and beauty inherent in the struggle to balance the demands of duty with the yearning for genuine self-expression. The letter, now brought to light after years of silence, reaffirms the notion that the most profound insights often come from the most personal of revelations. Its contents, meticulously crafted and filled with the tender complexity of a life lived on the edge of both glory and grief, serve as an enduring tribute to the resilience and vulnerability that define the human experience. For anyone who has ever sought to reconcile the demands of the outer world with the unyielding call of inner truth, the message contained in these pages remains both a solace and an inspiration, a timeless reminder that even in the most challenging of circumstances, the human spirit can find the courage to speak its truth. The letter's revelation invites an exploration into the art of epistolary expression, as a subtle yet powerful form of communication, particularly within the context of royal society. Its very existence demonstrates that even in an environment dominated by protocol and ceremonial obligations, there existed a space where genuine emotions could be transcribed onto paper. The fluidity of her prose suggests that she viewed writing not only as a medium of personal catharsis, but also as a deliberate act of asserting her individuality in a realm where every gesture was predetermined. Her literary craftsmanship, evident in the delicate weaving of imagery and sentiment, hints at a profound understanding of the interplay between language and emotion that remains compelling to scholars of literature and history alike. A closer examination of the stylistic nuances employed in the letter reveals a depth of introspection that is rarely captured in public communications. The narrative flows with an organic rhythm, imbued with a quiet introspection that speaks to an inner life far removed from the expectations of royal decorum. The phrasing carries an almost lyrical quality, where each sentence appears to have been meticulously curated to evoke feelings of both melancholy and quiet triumph. This mode of self-expression, so meticulously crafted, underscores a deep-seated belief in the transformative power of personal narrative, a belief that personal truth, when articulated with care, can serve as a subtle yet enduring form of resistance. In reflecting upon the broader cultural and historical implications of this document, one cannot help but appreciate its role as a transformative artifact in the annals of aristocratic correspondence. Its discovery challenges prevailing assumptions about the limitations placed on those born into privilege and questions the notion that public duty necessarily precludes a rich inner life. The manner in which the letter captures a private dialogue that exists in parallel with public expectation introduces a fascinating dynamic into historical analysis. Here, the private act of letter writing emerges as a quiet rebellion against the constraints of a life that was constantly under surveillance, suggesting that even within the gilded cages of royalty, there was an undeniable yearning for unfettered self-expression. The letter's emergence also serves as an illuminating example of how traditional forms of communication can encapsulate complex emotional landscapes in ways that modern digital interactions might fail to replicate. The physical presence of handwritten text carries an inherent weight, a tangible testament to the labor of thought and emotion invested in each carefully composed line. This tangible quality not only preserves the immediacy of the writer's sentiments, but also creates a lasting connection with future readers. It offers an intimate portrait of the author's mindset, inviting a nuanced interpretation of her emotional journey that extends beyond the ephemeral nature of spoken words or electronic messages. Analyzing the letter from a historical perspective introduces fresh avenues for interpreting the evolution of interpersonal relationships within royal circles. It is a document that appears to capture a moment when the traditional boundaries between duty and private passion were more fluid than later representations might suggest. The letter hints at a subtle reconfiguration of familial bonds, one where personal vulnerability was not only tolerated but valued as a means of fostering deeper mutual understanding. In doing so, it recontextualizes the dynamics of power and affection in a setting where both are often assumed to be mutually exclusive. This perspective encourages contemporary readers to reconsider the delicate balance that has long defined the internal interactions of those living under public scrutiny. From a literary standpoint, the document stands as an evocative example of the enduring power of the written word to document personal transformation. The language chosen throughout the correspondence illustrates an evolution in thought, a journey from the confines of conventional royal expectations to a more introspective and nuanced understanding of self. The letter thus functions as an introspective mirror, reflecting an internal dialogue that resonates with the universal human struggle to reconcile external obligations with personal aspirations. This tension, so elegantly rendered through her prose, invites further reflection on the broader cultural implications of self-expression in environments where every word carries an amplified significance. The discovery of the letter offers contemporary historians and literary enthusiasts a fresh lens through which to examine the evolution of royal self-representation. It provides a counterpoint to the sanitized narratives often propagated by official accounts, instead illuminating the rich tapestry of emotion and reflection that lay beneath the surface. Its artistic merit lies not only in the beauty of its language, but also in the way it encapsulates an era marked by rigid expectations while simultaneously hinting at the possibility of transformation from within. This duality enriches our understanding of the period and encourages a more holistic approach to historical inquiry. As modern readers engage with the document, it becomes apparent that the letter is not merely a relic of the past, but a vibrant testimony to the transformative potential of personal communication. The meticulous care with which the author rendered her thoughts on paper underscores a timeless belief in the power of reflection as a catalyst for change. In the act of documenting her internal world, the writer challenges conventional narratives, demonstrating that even those born into the most restrictive environments are capable of profound introspection and creative expression. This insight is especially poignant in a contemporary context, where the boundaries between private and public spheres continue to evolve. If you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Also, leave your comments below and tell us, what are your thoughts on Princess Diana's lost letter to Princess Anne being revealed? We want to hear from you. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.